are the Teamsters affiliated with the mob, or were they ever?
Well, I'm sure back in the day, the 50s, 60s, 70s.
80s?
Yeah, but 80s. There's no more organized crime. There's no organized crime in the Teamsters Union.
Tosh Show. Tosh Show. Tosh Show for show. Welcome to Tosh Show. I'm your pilot, Captain Dan Tosh. With me, Eddie Gossling.
Hello, Dan.
You guys are in capable hands today. If you look out your window, you'll probably see another car. Give them a honk. Let them know you're a Toshicle too.
Toshicles.
Toshicles.
That should be the thing. I like that.
Oh, man. What am I doing with my hair? I'll tell you what I'm doing with my hair. Nobody asked, but I just haven't gotten it cut in so long. I'm scheduled for Tuesday next week. So that's big. That's big. I had a great week. I went out to Palm Springs, as I do every year, for the Indian Wells. Do they say Indian Wells anymore, or would you say Indigenous Wells? Doesn't matter. The tennis tournament. It was great. Now, sadly, Djokovic had gotten knocked out in an early round, so he wasn't there when I went. I was going to heckle. I was going to boo. But he had took the coward's way out and lost in the first or second round, I believe. I took my father-in-law and my mother-in-law. My father-in-law, it was like bringing my grandma to Indian Wells. It was cold. I'm not going to lie. It was in the 50s in the evening session. He's bringing a blanket from the Airbnb. I don't know if you're supposed to take blankets off the property, but he did. He's bundled up. I'm taking photos of him, just half asleep. He's like, I wasn't sleeping. I was cheering. I'm like, looks like you were half asleep there, buddy. It was fun. Went to a Nobu one night.
Nice.
They have a Nobu restaurant at Indian Wells, and it overlooks Court 2. Now, if you sit right on the edge, those seats, which I do every year, you get to watch a match. This year there was a little mix-up. Pete messed it up. He doesn't admit it, but they're like, oh, we got you close to the window. Oh, close to the window, you can't see anything. That doesn't matter. Anyway, long story short, they kicked some people out, and we got to move over to the window.
Oh, nice.
And then I ordered my drink. Had an alcoholic beverage, Eddie.
This is big.
Yeah, some passion fruit margarita. Oh, it's delicious.
Yeah. Are you hooked?
No, I have it once a year. That's my drink.
You're hooked, buddy.
I drink one drink a year.
That's great.
That I actually look forward to, that is.
Mm-hmm.
Draper was on fire. Nobody could really hold a torch to him. I saw Alcaraz. Gosh, when you look at Alcaraz's thighs, it's hard not to be impressed. You're like, those are some strong legs. And quick as a cat, too. And guess what else? Made the Jumbotron. The big screen. That's it. That's your dream, and it wasn't for the cool reason, like where they go around, show the celebrities. No, they had no idea it was me. They were just zooming in on my daughter.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
She was doing something funny. It was making everybody laugh. She was taking a yogi. You know what yogis are?
Oh, yeah.
No, they're disgusting. But anyway, she was putting yogis on my lip and then like biting them off. And then next thing I know, we're on the big screen. I'm like, listen, guys, I have to do this yogi thing or she's going to start screaming during points. You know what else I did, Eddie?
No.
Went surfing in Palm Springs. You believe it?
Come on.
Not even near the ocean. No, we went to the Palm Springs Surf Club. Pierre came out for the day. Brian, my friend from Sunny Day Coffee, he came with me. And Lachlan Patterson.
Right, okay.
Lachlan was, he was struggling. That was fun. Always watching him panic, it makes me laugh. But yeah, we surfed the wave pool. Put on the slab setting, getting fun little barrels. Believe it or not, that wave can actually hold you down underwater for quite some time. I didn't get any bad hold downs, but Pierre had a couple. Pierre got sucked into the machine at one point. That was hysterical. He said that I distracted him because the waves come in like these little 3-wave sets, and he was getting in position, and then I started messing with him. And anyway, next thing I know, he's getting sucked into this machine, and his board's banging around. He got really scared, and I was crying laughing. Might have been my favorite part of the day. Not even surfing, but just watching him get swallowed by a huge machine.
Get eaten by the machine.
He was so scared. Oh, God, it was funny. Yeah, that was cute. I enjoy my life.
Mm-hmm.
Get out there, spend time with the family, do stuff like that. I don't get these people that want to be the hardest working person in show business. That seems like a horrible way to live. I didn't get into the show business because I have a good work ethic. Eddie, did you ever have a real job?
I did.
What kind of job did you have?
I would say I audited at a meat plant, like they're a meat production company, and I would audit the orders to make sure they were in the margins.
What? You just said words.
Well, that's what I did as an auditor at a meat processing plant.
To see if they were in the margins.
Yeah, if you ordered a bunch of cheese and it was outside of the plus 7% they wanted to make, like too low, you'd bring it over and put it in a basket.
Just stop, Eddie. I mean, that you couldn't have described. How long did you work there?
Couple years while I started.
You worked
comedy.
there a couple years?
Yeah.
You just kept them in the margin. Were you good at your job?
If it was out of margin, I'd highlight it and put it in a basket. I don't know.
You don't know if you were good. How much did you get paid?
I mean, enough to have an apartment in San Antonio.
You think it was over $20 an hour or over $10 an hour?
Over 10.
Not over 20.
Nah, maybe around 15.
Did you have to have a college degree for this job?
Oh no. You just had to know shotgun. He was a bass player in a band and his mom worked there.
Oh.
Literally, that was it.
So you worked there for 2 years.
Yeah.
And when you quit there, what did you go to?
Just comedy full time.
So that was you went from that auditing this meat packing place to comedy.
Yep.
You think you're the only person that's gone that route?
From the Pelly Brothers? Yeah, I do.
See, I always think that one of the keys to my stand-up was that I never actually had a real job. So I never quit something that provided me any, quote, stability.
Right.
So I wasn't leaving anything on the table. I always admired people that like went into comedy that like had like an actual job.
Oh yeah, when you hear like this guy used to be a lawyer or a doctor and they leave that profession to become comics, I'm like, what is happening?
Well, your job, I mean, I just can't imagine having the confidence to go from that to be like, you know what, I should entertain people.
It really took a leap. I
Well,
can't believe I'm leaving all this.
Good stuff. Yeah. I've always been fascinated with people that have, quote, real jobs. I don't really have any blue collar people in my life. When I was growing up, it was all white collar. And that probably doesn't surprise anybody when they look at how fancy I am. I tell you what confuses me about blue collar is they're really not collar people.
Right.
For the most part, they're more in tees.
T-shirt.
They're the crew neck boys.
Crew neck boy.
But without blue collar workers, this country would fall apart. And today's guest, this guy cares more about the working class than anyone I've ever known. Enjoy. Tosh Show. Breaker, do you copy? My guest today is from Boston, a.k.a. Beantown, a.k.a. my favorite city to shit on that I secretly love. He is the general president of one of the most powerful unions in this country, protecting the hard-working men and women trucking up and down the roads, keeping our shelves stocked, our tanks full, and our economy humming. Please welcome Sean over. That was my intro.
Awesome.
First question, do you believe in ghosts?
I'll put it this way. There's been people put on this earth, I believe, to haunt my life daily.
I mean, probably the best answer I've ever heard. 100% agree with that. I'll be honest with you. I almost believe that it's almost a majority of the people put on this planet were here to do just that to me. You grew up in Boston.
I did, yes.
Oh man. I mean, if you were to write Boston and then show a photo of it is you. You are Boston.
Am I that handsome?
I mean, it's a compliment.
I mean, we are a good-looking city.
No. You're not. I mean, you look like you could take a 2x4 to the neck and it wouldn't bother you.
You know, I do have failings, sir.
Are you a softie?
Yeah, I like long walks in the park, and I'm an Aries.
Did you grow up fighting ever?
I always tell people. I mean, I have two brothers. My dad was a big guy, a well-respected guy.
Mm-hmm.
And we were always taught. And our mother brought us up pretty much. She grew up in the projects in Boston, raised her three younger brothers. She is the toughest O'Brien. She's probably one of the toughest women I've ever met in my life. Very classy, but she always made certain that two things. One, that you have two brothers and you always got to protect each other and have each other's back. And I expect that if one of you is in a fight, both of you better be all three of you better be in that fight. So we were always brought up to stick up for each other. Was violence promoted? No, but was it an occurrence? Absolutely.
I get it. And it's not, I mean, it was probably technically, some of those circumstances were probably wrong, but I mean, I just fled conflict my entire life. Like, nope, time to leave here. I think my mom would be like, if your brother's getting beat up, just run. Better than both of you getting beat up.
My mother used to say, if your brother comes home with a black eye, you both better come home with a black eye.
Yeah, no, my mom would be like, well, he wasn't fast enough, was he? And listen, it's not like I grew up, I grew up poor. I lived in St. Louis. That's as a kid. I just didn't have it in me. I just wasn't that kid. I didn't know how to fight. I didn't have it. And my dad wasn't. He's a big man. He's 6 foot. He's mean to people.
My mother had a presence of being 6'5", and she's about 5'2".
Yeah. Well, no, my mom was a sweet. I'm not going to knock my mom and how she raised pussies, but she did. You still live in Boston?
So I live in Boston when I'm home, but primarily I live in Washington, D.C. because that's where my day job as the international president of the Teamsters takes me. So
you like D.C.?
I've been there 3 years. I love the city. The people were. It was tough to adjust to the people down there because I was brought up in an area where you're pretty direct. What you see is what you get. And when you're dealing in D.C., whether you're dealing with politicians or whoever, they'll say one thing and do another. So I had to kind of navigate through. I remember the first 3 weeks down there, I'm like, I hate this fucking place. Why did I take this job? But it's like anything else. You learn to adapt to situations. And I think living down there, being from where I'm from with the personality that I have, it's gotten a lot better. It was a tough adjustment at first.
I love D.C. too. I mean, as a city, I love Boston more. I always say I like New York more just because it's a bigger fan base. I sell more tickets, so I lie to those people. Yeah. I tell them I love them more. But the reality is, if I had to live in a city, I'd live in Boston, but not year round. That's nonsense.
Yeah, Boston's a great city, not because I'm from there. It's a small city with a big presence.
It's pretty.
And it's clean, very clean.
It's clean, right? Now the people I could do without, but fair enough. That's how
so
you feel about
DC. Do you want to live in a clean city with no people?
Oh, now you're talking my language,
right? That's a home run.
You attended UMass.
I did.
How many of the other 600 colleges within the city did you apply to?
I didn't apply to any of them, to be honest. As a matter of fact, I got a great story about how I ended up at UMass. So I was recruited to play football for the University of New Haven. I was a great high school football player, but I'm not a huge person. So I reached my potential. So I wasn't going to go to a Division I school. I was a running back and a linebacker, and sometimes an offensive lineman, sometimes a long snapper, whatever they needed me to do. I got recruited by a Division II school that gave me a full scholarship. So I ended up going to University of New Haven for about a minute, and it just didn't work out. It was awful. So I ended up leaving there. And so my father picked me up and he was like, hey, it's tough. Sometimes you're going to make tough decisions. And I'm like, this is great. Like, my father's supporting this decision. And next day he says to me, what'd you do today, you loser? Did you go get a job?
Oh.
And I'm like, oh my God.
Quick.
So I was like, yeah, that was, so I'm going to go. And I was in the union at the time. So I'm like, I'll maybe go to the union. Maybe I'll just go in the Marine Corps. So I was going to go talk to a recruiter to go into the Marines. And all of a sudden, this guy in a station wagon pulls up, and I'm standing on the corner, aimlessly thinking about my life. It's 18 years old. And the guy looks up at me, and he says, aren't you supposed to be playing football at University of New Haven? What are you doing? I'm like, didn't work out. He's like, I coach football at UMass. I'm like, really? He goes, I think I graduated high school with your mother. His name was Coach Kent.
Okay.
Goes, you want to go to UMass and play football? I said, yeah, sure. I'll give it a shot. So I walk home and I gave him my phone number. So I walk in and, there's my mother and father sitting there. And my father's like, what'd you do today? I go, well, I was going to go join the Marine Corps. I said, but funny thing happened. Coach Kent pulled up in a station wagon. I'm going to UMass Boston to play football. He's like, how are you going to do that? You didn't even apply. The phone rings. My mother's like, Jim Kent, Charlestown High? I was in UMass playing football the next day. So to your question, I didn't apply to one school in Massachusetts.
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Home, American dream.
And how'd that football career end?
It went great. I mean, I started as a freshman, but I knew I always had a passion, and I always did well in school, but I didn't want to be in school. Like I wanted to be out working. Like I loved the union because it was around me my entire life, 4 generations. I loved my father's friends. I loved, the old timers. I loved going to union meetings, and I knew and I worked in the union in high school. I worked in the theater district in Boston. We used to unload and load Broadway shows, and it was great. And I just loved the camaraderie. I loved the passion that people showed going to work every single day. But more importantly, I loved the loyalty that I was taught about the organization. So I knew this was just a short stop for me, and I knew that I wanted to be in the Teamsters Union.
And now you're the president of that union that you once idolized. You're a lot like Mark Zuckerberg in your career, minus the net worth.
I got to be honest with you. No one has ever compared me to fucking Mark Zuckerberg.
I'm just saying. Drop out of high school, boom, big dreams. I love doing shows in union cities, to be honest with you. Like if I'm in Chicago, of course, you go to a Taylor Swift show, you obviously understand there's just bells and whistles. They're incredible what they're doing. Me, I'm going out to a microphone. That's it. But yet still at union shows, it's like, Pete, knock it off. Don't touch that fucking stool. That's somebody's job to bring that stool out there and sit there. Yeah, sure, I have to pay a little more at that venue, but God, do I love it.
But you probably make a lot more at that venue.
Yeah, I mean, it's because it's a better market.
Right.
I mean, it's usually the best markets that have those.
You were in Boston recently, right?
Mm-hmm. I do. Yeah.
What did you perform in Boston?
I don't remember. Is that bad?
The Orpheum.
Orpheum, yeah. Those are all Teamsters.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, I love it.
I worked in those theaters in high school. But they were Broadway theaters. They were either Broadway or music. Now there's been such a shift with comedy. They've had that's a big venue.
It's so easy for comedy. It's like you don't bring anything. You just show up, do a show. Explain what the president of the Teamsters does besides challenge senators from Oklahoma to fights.
That was unfortunately a defining moment in my career.
Yeah, it was certainly a highlight.
Yeah, you know what? It's just like we talked about earlier. You enable your growing. You don't let people shit on you. You don't let people try and bully you.
You would have destroyed that. There's no doubt that you would have won the fight.
Look, you know what? Here's the thing, and I've actually become friends with Mark Wayne Mullen, and he's a big, strong guy. He's got cauliflower ears.
I mean, it just depends on how serious you take the fight. If the first part you go for it,
what you're willing to do to win.
Exactly. That's where I'm at. You go to a kneecap right away. Cauliflower ear be damned. By the way, did you ever think in a million years Bernie Sanders would be the one to break up a fight? That you were in. I mean, how bizarre world were you? That was like
getting yelled at by your grandfather. It's like Thanksgiving dinner, you spill something at the table, and you Jesus Christ, And look, that was the first Senate hearing I was ever in, and so I was like, look, I wouldn't let this guy shit on me in my neighborhood. I'm certainly not going to let him do it here. So yeah, that was pretty fun.
Did you ever drive an 18-wheeler?
All the time.
What do you mean all the time? How long?
I still do it.
You still?
I still like when every once in a while I'll be in an event and there'll be a Teamster tractor trailer or whatever. As a matter of fact, I'm still on the seniority list of my company that I went to work for at 18, Shawn O'Brien. And I went back a couple of years ago and I wanted to show people that I'm still capable of doing the work because when you're talking to people and I've got to advise millions of members, and I've got to give them advice on why they should accept a contract or why they should reject a contract. I want to make sure that those people that I'm working for, the 1.3 million members, they know that I can do their job if I have to still. So there's a credibility factor that goes along with that. But I love driving trucks. I mean, I tell people all the time, when I was in school, everybody would say, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be the president of the United States. I'm like, I want to drive a truck for the Teamsters Union.
I wanted to be Lincoln Hawk.
Yeah. Arm wrestling.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Oh, yeah.
That was my dream.
You'd be going at it with Bull Hurley.
What percentage of truck drivers are Teamsters?
Probably 12, 13%. Yeah, I mean, UPS is our largest employer.
Oh.
We have 340,000 members there out of 1.3 million. And by the way, our union is just not truck drivers.
No.
I always tell people we're airline pilots to zookeepers and everybody in between. So me being a truck driver, yeah, I'm very familiar with, the
Wheels
conditions.
is the majority of what the Teamsters.
Well, no, we
No?
represent every mode of transportation. We represent railroad workers, the train engineers are affiliated with us. The trackmen that fix the tracks and keep the infrastructure rolling, they're Teamsters. Then you go into the airline divisions. We have pilots. We've got flight attendants. We've got ground transportation.
Hollywood?
We've got mechanics. We represent 15,000 members in Hollywood throughout the whole country that work on the sets as Teamsters. So my dad was a transportation coordinator that ran all the movies for our local union in Boston, Local 25. That's what he did for a living. So I know the industry well.
When you say you jump behind the wheel just to kind of show people you can still do it, what do you?
I'll tell you why I do it. Because I wear a suit and tie to work every single day. I might one day be talking to a Senate hearing where I'm defending workers' rights and I'm lobbying to get things done on behalf of American workers. Next, I may be, in a work site at 4 a.m. talking to rank and file members. And when they look at me, because, you've got the demographic, our union, you get the 18 to 35-year-olds. They may not know what I did. They may think I'm just some lobbyist, right? Mm-hmm. So when I'm talking to people and they kind of get, well, how do you know you could do my job? And I'll pull up the video. I said, I just did this last week.
You don't need a video. You just need a short sleeve shirt. Nobody's going to think you're just a lobbyist.
Yeah, you never know, Well, I've been accused of being a politician recently, and I'm not a politician.
Oh, that's a tough one to swallow. What's the starting pay-ish?
No, I'll give you the best example.
Okay.
UPS, part-timer.
Uh-huh.
Getting hired
Part-timer.
Part-timer.
Okay.
Getting hired off the street to load and unload trucks with the hope and dreams of becoming full-time, which there is a path to a career. A UPS part-timer right now, starting today, will make $21 per hour, and they will get free health care and a pension. And our UPS drivers make almost $50 an hour.
50. The drivers make $50 an hour.
At the end of this contract, they'll be making $50, close to $50 an hour, 49 something.
What's the longest haul you're legally allowed to do? How long can you drive?
Well, it's like 10-hour shifts.
Okay.
So you usually 650 miles a day.
How nice are those cabs?
They're beautiful now. I mean, they've got sleeper berths and everything else. And
Are truckers masturbating in the trucks?
I'll be honest with you, I've never had the urge to rough up the suspect while I was driving or working.
Okay, that's fair. But as a comic, when I first started, I was driving. 20-year-old, I was driving. Black Honda Civic, 91. If anybody ever saw it, there's a good chance I was doing it. I drove across this country constantly, but I can't stay awake. I fall asleep. So I would occasionally, edge, I guess is the term. You get excited, that keeps you awake for a little bit. It's like
does edging mean you would actually finish?
No, edging is the opposite of that.
Okay.
You get to the edge and don't go over. Because if you go over, the opposite happens.
What if you get
then you fall asleep immediately.
What if you get distracted and you end up going over?
Listen,
isn't that?
Are you telling me that some truck drivers haven't been distracted before at the wheel?
I listen. I can't speak for that, but that's
do they still
to your
have
question.
the horn this way or no?
Yeah.
Is it still a rope?
There's a rope, but there's also this new fad where they put actual train horns under the hood or behind the cab
to
and
scarify
they have a valve.
everyone.
They have a valve down here, and you pull it, and it's great. Like you're going through a neighborhood, you don't like people, you just hit that at like 2 in the morning.
Could I learn to drive a truck?
You know what's funny? We just had this discussion on our way over here because my girlfriend partner thinks she's a great driver. She goes, I could going through cones that are 25 feet wide. She goes, I could even drive a tractor trailer. I'm like, oh, sure. But yeah, to your question, absolutely you could.
How long does it, how long?
It's like anything else. It's a process. Some people learn quick. Some people takes a lot more time.
Okay, without being sexist, okay? I need you to do this without being sexist. How... Why are you already laughing? Sean, how much harder is it for women to be a good truck driver than a man?
I think women are better truck drivers than men. I do. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because, number one, unlike yourself driving, they're not going to masturbate while they're driving.
You don't know that.
I can know that. But seriously, it's proven women are smarter than men.
Smarter, sure.
And they're more focused on tasks. Let's be realistic. I mean, I've got the attention span of a mosquito, and easily distracted. I check probably 3 boxes of ADD, ADHD, OCD, whatever. Women focus a lot more better than men. I think
I'm not going to argue with that.
I think they would. To your question, I think they'd get through a curriculum quicker.
I'm going to be sexist probably then. I've had tour buses for 20 years that have driven me around this country to perform. I've had one female bus driver, and I'm like, I was so excited about it. And it literally, I thought every night when I went to close my eyes and I'm going to die. She couldn't back the bus into anything. It was Pete will vouch for me. It was horrendous. It was terrifying. Well, maybe we just had one bad apple, Pete.
That's like having one bad date.
No, that I've had a lot of. Are my tour bus drivers Teamsters or no?
No, but give me the names and we'll see what we can do.
Okay. I don't know what that meant exactly. How about the fact that truck drivers are not allowed in Buc-ee's? What do you think about that?
What are Buc-ee's?
You don't fucking know what Buc-ee's is.
I don't know what Buc-ee's are.
Buc-ee's is like the biggest, the nicest. It started in Texas, the largest gas station.
That explains it.
And they have the cleanest bathrooms.
Why don't I know about this?
And you go in there, they have everything. They have a beef jerky section. They've got, everything you could ever want. My parents go to Buc-ee's like it's an amusement park. They just love a Buc-ee's. Anyway, I think you need to get on that. They don't allow 18-wheelers.
Would you support a nationwide protest over that?
100% I would, especially since I've never been yet. Although I do own a Buc-ee's truck at my house, like a little pickup truck that they got my son.
I'd throw that away.
I'm not going to throw it away. Well, I will if they don't change their ways. Have you driven one of these semis that can drive itself yet?
No.
You guys have a name for those people that want those trucks on the road?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gavin Newsom.
Oh. How dare you? How dare you come into this office? By the way, you ever see those photos of him with his ex-wife sprawled out on this like gaudy rug? The Trump Jr.'s wife now, right? It's Trump Jr.'s wife now, but he used to be married to her, and there's a photo spread of them laying. It makes you hate everything about California. But anyway, forget that.
He looks like Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
He's like a little Bradley Cooper-ish, Matthew McConaughey a little bit.
Those are better than looking like Elon Musk.
I look at you. You look like a young.
Tell me.
You look like a young Kurt Russell.
God damn it, that's a compliment. Yeah. Young Kurt Russell. Do you worry about AI and everything taking over your business?
AI is the biggest threat to everything in this country.
Okay, so you are worried about it.
We're fighting automation. The good thing about being under a union contract, you get to negotiate terms and conditions of automation, AI. What's scary is when it, especially out here. You've got Silicon Valley, right? Huge supporters of technology, huge supporters of automated vehicles.
My friend got stuck in a parking lot in an autonomous vehicle for like 15, 20 minutes, and he didn't even care. He just thought it was funny. Just doing laps around the parking lot. He couldn't get out.
Not to fall back earlier, but just think about the edging you could do in an autonomous.
No, you don't have to edge.
No,
I'm not going to edge.
If you're in a Waymo?
Who's edging? I'm giving that camera the money shot. You ever driven in one of those?
No, I haven't. Look, so I'm that guy that I will walk 20 miles in bare feet before I get in something that's going to destroy working people. Like, I don't even go if I'm in a supermarket and there's a line with 30 people. You don't
do self-checkout?
I refuse to do self-checkout.
It's so easy to steal.
No, it's awful. Yeah, well, stealing's great. But the challenge is to steal while you're being watched. And if you're good at it, you're gonna get away with it.
I'm joking.
No, but here's the thing, right?
Okay.
You go into a self-checkout, I've watched people like at Home Depot or Lowe's.
Home Depot self-checkout, that's real tough.
So here's the best. Yeah, but here's the thing. You have to go to this checkout kiosk. 9 out of 10 times, when you're fucking it up, trying to pay for everything, a human comes over and works with you to get it out. So why shouldn't we just get rid of the automation? Because you're going to bring the human in anyways.
It
doesn't make sense.
Don't use logic with me, Sean. Here's the problem with the Home Depot is now I'm supposed to write down the code of the bolts that I just took. And I have to put this 10-digit code in when I get there. That's complete nonsense.
You just said you love to steal through the self-checkout.
Sean, I was joking.
You could put those.
I never steal.
When's the last time you needed a bolt? You personally.
Needed a bolt? Constantly. I've been organizing my garage recently, and I'm putting all the bolts. By the way, I want to retire so bad so that I can just tinker like an old man. I was born to be a grandpa. Like, that's my goal in life.
Like, what kind of tinkering would you do?
Yeah, I don't know, but right now I'm just putting all my nuts and my bolts in I got an organizer. One of the workers bought me an organizer. Now I'm putting all the bolts everywhere.
Like, do you do your own home projects and everything?
No, but I like to hire somebody because I like to pay it forward and that can do things better than me. And then I like to be their assistant for the day. And they just get annoyed, but they think it's funny that I'm
like, hey, I got a bolt. This will work. I got a bolt.
Well,
I'll be right back.
they're surprised some of the power tools I have. You got a good garage setup or no?
Yeah, I got a good setup.
Nice.
I got a good setup. We have sheds. We don't have garages.
You have a shed?
Shed, yeah.
Oh, I don't have a shed. Would you say that it's actually your business is getting better recruiting younger people? Because I feel like people are less likely now to do like 4-year college degrees where everyone thought that's what they had to do. And now they're realizing.
Yeah, I mean, our generation, you're probably the same age. We're probably roughly the same age, right? Everybody was told they have to go to college. Yep. If you don't go to college, you're going to be a rubbishman. Well, our rubbishmen that work under union contracts are making almost $3,000 per week in some areas. They've got great health care. They've got great pensions.
I always wanted to be on the back of a trash truck. And nowadays, it's you don't even get to hang on the back of a trash truck. They've got the stupid arms that lift things up, which I've always wondered, how are they really lining that thing up? Not that this is in your world, but I was just curious about that. Do those trucks just automatically stop and know where the trash can is? How are they figuring that shit out?
Not right now, they don't.
Do truckers think longshoremen are assholes?
No, we love the longshoremen.
Okay.
We love them. You know, I said this recently. So where we grew up, you were either going to be a Teamster, longshoreman, firefighter, a police officer, or a criminal, right?
Mm-hmm. Or both.
And the best, yeah, right. And the best part is longshoreman. You know, it's a business that runs concurrently with Teamsters because you're bringing goods off a ship, putting them on a truck, and we're delivering them. But it was funny. All the kids and the longshoremen, they're characters, hard workers, but they're characters, right? And they're all related because they pass down their membership cards from generation to generation. Okay. But all the longshoremen kids in the neighborhood or wherever you were from, they all get the same shit for Christmas. And I could never figure out how they did that, you know? And like they would get the same shit for Christmas.
I'm very aware of where they got it from.
But that was back in the day. It's different now.
Oh, yeah. Much different now. By the way, everybody that's on the show gets gifts, okay? You ever wear glasses? Sunglasses?
Yeah, I do, yes,
I got you a pair of sunglasses. These are Tom Ford. Do you buy expensive sunglasses? Or are you somebody that's like, oh, I'll lose them. I don't want them to be expensive.
Because of my great union, we have an unbelievable vision plan where we get high-end glasses as well through the prescription.
Look at you. Well, here, these are a little too, like, I don't know, like shooter range for me. They're Tom Fords. They're probably $500, okay? But I want you to have those.
These are nice.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, look, knowing how handy you are at home and you're into tools, I would think these are like welding goggles.
No. Let me see. Can we put them on? Let me see if they look okay. Yeah. I won't lie to you. If they look bad, I'll say, no, they're not bad.
Not bad.
They look scary. I like it. They work. Those are.
You're a good man. Thank you.
Now, I used to do a show on Comedy Central, green screen, and
oh yeah, I remember.
I would a lot of times shoot stuff at my house, and I had my own green screen at home. And then this is some of my green screen. It's my version of the Green Monster. Okay, so I just want you to have my green monster there. If you hold this up, like if I hold this up right now, they're going to put a penis on it right next to my face. I know it. I know.
Yeah, I'm not going to hold it up next to mine.
Hold it right next to your face. We'll put something nice. Yeah. No, you don't have to do that. Do you know who Mitch Hedberg was?
I don't, sir.
He was a comedian. He died in the early 2000s. Yeah. Anyway, I always had a sticker of his that I loved, and it said, as a joke, it says, "I'm against picketing, but I don't know how to show it." It's a smart joke. It's a good joke.
That's awesome.
You keep that. It's a classic.
God rest Mitch's soul.
Mitch. By the way, the funny thing about Mitch is MitchHedberg.net. He didn't have .com. Might be the funniest thing about Mitch Hedberg. I don't have this trucker hat. My buddy sells mobile homes in Malibu.
Right.
You know, like $2 million mobile homes.
Yeah.
But this is his hat, his company hat. But
no, it's a great hat.
But it doesn't fit me because my head's too big.
Yeah, it's a great hat. But like, if we saw a mobile home that looked like that,
well, that's just a cute
would be
logo.
Like stranger danger. Like there'd be some guy coming out in a clown suit asking kids
Sean,
if they
that's
want
retro.
a
That's
piece
cool.
of candy.
Sean,
this is crazy.
This here. I don't know. This is from my tour, the Great Nor'easter tour. I did this in 2015. It was just in Boston. It was everywhere. That's a sign. You give that to one of your kids if they skateboard or something like that.
My oldest son is trying to do stand-up right now. He's actually doing stand-up, yeah.
Well, By the way, the thing, let's just throw all this on the floor. I don't like this on my desk. Don't scratch my desk, for God's sake, Sean.
I feel like you're cleaning your shit that you don't want anymore out.
Sean, that's what I do every episode. Okay, that's the bit.
Yeah. Did you have like a car or something that you don't want?
No, I love my car.
I was just checking.
Where are you at on electric cars?
I don't like electric cars at all.
I mean, you don't think they're fun to drive?
I never drove one. Look, electric cars, the batteries, all this shit, they're going to put people out of work. We're about combustible engines. We want that power, you know?
Oh, I got power. I got 825 horsepower.
I mean, look,
truck.
you talked about, how you edged while driving a vehicle.
Okay, listen. One time I edged.
No, listen.
You focus on one thing.
No, you talk. It's the ADD kicking in. I'm sorry.
Well, no,
right?
You're focused on it. You're laser focused on
OCD,
it.
right?
Okay.
So, you think about your edging, right? You hear this
God, I can't stop thinking about it.
big, powerful motor, you're thinking about like a scene from Danny Zuko in Grease, right?
I'm not
racing, right?
okay.
Grease lightning, right?
All right.
And that's gonna get your juices flowing.
I'm just trying to stay awake and not kill myself.
You're pulling a hill in a Tesla, right? I mean, is that
I don't ride a Tesla.
Well,
I'm a Rivian man.
All right, so you're a Rivian.
Uh-huh.
Even better.
Thank
right?
you.
The fake version of a Subaru. But anyways, right?
Subaru, Japanese, Rivian, American. American-made, designed.
You're pulling that big hill, and you're not hearing anything. You're not hearing any engine combustion. How's that going to help you with your engine problem?
I'm listening to music.
Oh, here we go.
I'm rocking out to music. What kind of music do you listen to?
I like church music.
What?
No, I'm only kidding.
Oh.
I'm a hardcore.
Holy God, I believe
Listen, I love Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg's the best.
Well, okay.
I listen to all music. I listen to Van Halen, Snoop Dogg,
That's all the music.
Yeah.
From Van Halen to Snoop Dogg.
And everything in between.
Right. Did you like the halftime show at the Super Bowl this year? Did you like Kendrick Lamar?
It was good. It was decent.
There you go. All right. You care about Boston sports your whole life? Still care about it?
I loved it. Growing up, I tell my kids this all the time. They're 23 and 20. They got the opportunity to see all of our sports teams win multiple world championships. They were born in 2001, 2004.
These kids have it too good.
Growing up, the only team that won a championship, national championship, was the Boston Celtics, 85, 86, whatever it was, with Larry Bird and that crew. Otherwise, our teams were awful until, the last 2 decades.
I have a theory that the next generation of Boston kids that went through all this winning, they're going to be nothing but huge pussies.
Probably, yeah. Manic depressants. There's no doubt. No doubt. Yeah.
They've been winning too much. Let me prove to you that I don't hate Boston sports. I took my father, who's a diehard St. Louis Cardinals fan.
Okay.
Grew up. I took him to the World Series in 2004
against the Red Sox. Yeah.
This was the year you finally guys didn't fuck things up.
Buckner didn't let a ground ball go between his legs.
Right. Well, the first game, I took my dad. We had tickets to games 3 and 4, and the first game we lost, and he was like, "Hey, thank you." He grew up poor in St. Louis, and now he was at the World Series, and he thanked me for giving him like a dream come true to go see the Cardinals in the World Series. But he goes, "This is not this is Boston's time. Let's sell the tickets for tomorrow's game."
That's awesome. He was right.
And we sold them. Right. We found some Boston guys, sold them the tickets, and we stayed home and watched it. And we're like, yeah, it's their time. As somebody that grew up in Florida and cheered for Florida teams, I've never hated Boston teams.
You definitely have.
Here's the thing.
You were envious.
I'm going to be honest with you.
You were envious.
Oh, sure, but whatever. I hated Tom Brady. I never hated Belichick. I thought he was great.
Did you like Giselle?
Sure, I guess. If you're into giraffes, not my cup of tea. Favorite Patriot football player of all time? Go.
My favorite football player had to be John Hanna.
Oh, I was going Aaron Hernandez.
No.
Oh, you kidding me? That guy was great on the field and off. Just loads of fun.
Yeah.
Fuck, marry, kill. Do you know the game?
I've heard about it. Never played it. No.
All right, I give you 3 people. You have to F one. You have to marry one. You have to kill one. Here you go. Larry Bird, Tom Brady, Big Papi.
Larry Bird would probably.
You're marrying him.
Marry Larry Bird. F Tom Brady.
Oh, there you go.
And probably kill Big Papi.
Poor Papi.
Yeah, and listen, not because I dislike him. I mean, that was the only choice left.
I always worry about interviewing like powerful people like yourself that one day something's going to happen and there's going to be horrible skeletons that come out of your closet, and then they show us being all buddy-buddy, and I'm going to be like, I didn't know that about him. Do you have any skeletons in your closet that I should worry about? There's my question.
Conversely, I could pose the same question to you.
Exactly. I have none.
Me neither. I mean,
none.
Listen,
I'm an open book. I'll tell anybody anything.
I mean, I think one of the clarifications that we got right out of the way is I've never played with myself while I was driving a tractor trailer, so you don't have to worry about that.
That's the littlest thing in the world.
You don't have to worry about that coming out.
All right. How would you fix America, assuming you think it's broken?
There's room for improvement with everything. And I think you can see it right now, and we've seen it in previous administrations, and for the last 20 years, there has been such a line drawn in the sand, and there's been such an attack when people have differences of opinions. And I think, or the way I was brought up, that you can have a difference of opinions, but we should respect each other's difference of opinions, have respectful debate and dialogue, and find solutions to problems. So I think that's the biggest problem right now.
How does anyone win an election without being pro-labor?
I think people need to be transparent and inclusive, whether you're pro-labor or not pro-labor. We want everybody to be pro-labor. We want everybody to embrace American workers. But I think if you're going to be a politician running for any office, you know, what you say, you need to deliver on. And what you can't deliver on, you can't make promises that aren't attainable. And I think summing that up, people that run for office, regardless of anything, need to have credibility.
Do you have big aspirations down the road?
I've met my biggest aspiration.
I know, but are you going to go bigger? Are you going to swing bigger?
I don't think there's anything bigger than the
You don't think
Teamsters
you're ever going to
union.
run this country?
I don't know if I could pass the background check to run this country.
Let's be clear. That ship has sailed. You know.
Good point. Good point. I just threw you the biggest softball in the world, didn't I?
You got the whole. You figured life out. Good for you. Are you a happy person?
I'm the happiest person in the world. I got to be honest with you, I wake up every day and I try to make a conscious effort not to complain about anything. And I do complain.
Well, don't bottle that up.
No,
That's
but
bad too, Sean.
I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I got great kids. I've got great partners. My mother's still with us. I've got two great brothers. Look, I'm living a dream, to be honest with you. I'm thrilled. There's times it's trying, and I've got the best job in the world.
All right, Sean, you've done everything. I appreciate it. Thank you for being on the show, and good luck fixing our country forever.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Tosh Show. I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, SeatGeek, the #1 rated ticketing app. There are more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals. Every ticket purchase is backed by their buyer guarantee. Now, when I went out to Indian Wells last week for the tennis tournament, at first I asked for free tickets from my agents. When they declined, then I went to SeatGeek. Found exactly what I was looking for. I'm sure at this point in the ad, you're hoping for a discount, and you know I came through for you guys. You can use code TOSH10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off tickets with promo code TOSH10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek. Tosh Show. I want to thank Sean for being on the show. And for keeping this country running smooth. I appreciate also if he would never have me killed. You think he could have me killed?
Yes.
Like that, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, man, that's pretty neat. Anyway, how you doing, Carl? You look fresh. You got a hair in front of you. It worked. You in the union? You can't answer that, right? How long you been in the union? Answer me.
He's walked. Carl walked.
here, Carl.
He's on strike.
Up. Jump. Carl, up. Sorry, I startle you?
That was pretty good.
You didn't like that, did you? I hit the table and you were like, whoa, I'm out of here. All right. Well, happy to have you back. We got some plugs. Went to toshshowstore.com. Check it out. Get your Carl shirt. Eddie's tour. Check out his dates and come see me on tour. All right. Hit the free plug music. Oh, man. How's your bracket? This week's free plug is for Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. Not to be confused with Southern Illinois University, which is in Carbondale. But they don't include the town in the name of the school at that location. Anyway, fuck SIU. Now, they didn't make the NCAA tournament. But you know who did? SIUE. That's right, baby. The Cougars. Oh, now you might be saying, I've never heard of SIUE. Well, neither had I before the free plug. But with over 12,000 students enrolled at 98% acceptance rate. Whoa! They're turning no one away. You imagine getting that rejection letter?
It's like, how did I? Right? What did I do?
That is a bitter pill. It's only $14,000 tuition after financial aid. Is that a semester or a year?
Year.
They still have financial aid? I'm guessing that's drying up soon.
21% of their degrees are registered nursing.
A lot of nurses. 21% of their degrees are registered nurses. The other, registered sex offenders.
Oh my God. That's
You know, you don't have to be a registered nurse. It's good to register. It's like when you buy something and they're like, oh, go to our website and you know, register your product. I was like, I never do that. But some of these nurses, when they graduate, that might be something different.
notable alumni here. Kathleen Madigan.
Kathleen Madigan, funny comedian, graduated from SIUE. Kathleen's from St. Louis. That makes sense. She just jumps over the river there, goes to SIUE. A lot of famous alums. Bill Gates went there.
Wow.
Drove through there. It doesn't matter. You can say anything.
I guess you can.
Frank Sinatra took some classes there. I'm pretty sure Sharon Stone audited a class once there. Andy Garcia.
Andy Garcia, no shit.
Yeah. He went there for a bit.
That's crazy.
SIUE, the Cougars. SIUE. What's that spell? Success. Congratulations, SIUE, on one hell of a Cinderella run. See you next week.